What's up? Eric B. Preston here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to create a drip campaign or workflow that's going to funnel your sales prospects down your sales funnel on total autopilot using automatic texts and emails, and I'm going to show you exactly how to craft that in this video, so stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Eric B. Preston here. I get asked every single day of my life to help someone set up their drip campaigns. Now, I work in real estate, as you probably know, and I get asked by agents all the time to set up their drip campaigns. Now, I'm of the belief that this is something that you need to learn how to do. This is not something you simply farm out or pay someone else to do just because you don't know how it works or you don't have time to actually figure it out. So I'm a big believer that you should never farm this out, because these are literally the words that are going out to your sales prospects, to your potential clients or customers. They are the words that you or your company are using. So you better have a hand involved in the process of what you're actually saying and the message you want to be getting across. I don't believe you should just pay someone else to do it. So the reason I created this video is because I get a lot of people asking me how to do this. So I'm going to break down the A to Z of how to actually create a really effective drip campaign. What are the actual elements that you need to include in it? How does it relate to your sales funnel? And how do they all kind of work together? So as always, smash that subscribe button. If you like my content, it would really help support my channel, and it helps me create better content for you guys at the end of the day. As always, like this video if you do like it at the end, dislike it if you didn't, because either way, that again helps me create better content for all of you guys. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video about drip campaigns. All right, everyone, so first things first, let's talk about drips. And what do I mean by drips or drip campaigns or workflows or cadences? There's a variety of ways to call or word a drip campaign, and it depends on what actual software you're using. They're all going to use different words for essentially the same thing. Now, all a drip campaign is, in really simple terms, is a series of automated steps that a lead or prospect gets taken through when they sign up as a lead on your website or wherever they're signing up for more information about your product or service. So how this essentially works in the most simplest terms is this is a very basic drip campaign, okay? And I just want to lay this out for you in kind of very simple terms how this works. So you get a lead, right? And this lead could come from anywhere. You know, in the context of my business, we're running ads on YouTube and Facebook and everything like that. I have an online course that I sell to real estate agents on how to do online marketing. I also have an agency where I actually manage Google and Bing ads for real estate agents. So I get leads from all over the place. You know, we run YouTube ads, Facebook ads, I do Facebook organic content, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. They're coming from a lot of different places, right? So essentially what happens when I get a lead typically is they'll go through a flow of emails that are going to try to add value to them, and in some cases texts. For the instance of our real estate team, when we're getting a real estate lead or prospect, we're generating leads primarily through Google ads, right? We're also doing some YouTube stuff and some other things to get real estate leads for our real estate team as well. So what happens when they become a lead, right? Essentially, you have your software, your CRM, so your customer relationship management software, send out on autopilot a series of emails and texts to that prospect to try to funnel them further down your sales funnel. So it might look something like this. Right when they sign up, they get email number 1, okay? Then it waits 5 minutes, okay? So this is really important. You essentially want to make sure that you set this up so immediately they get email number 1, right? Then you wait 5 minutes and they get text number 1. Now, this could also be a call in some cases. Like in a lot of cases with real estate, you want to actually bulldog call your prospects straight away as soon as you get them. And you want to say something along the lines of, hey, you know, we have a commitment at this real estate team to actually deliver as much value to you as possible and get you all the answers that you want straight away. So that's why we're giving you a call. I just wanted to find out a little bit more information about what you're looking for in terms of a property search in X area or city. Something along those lines. You essentially are trying to get more information from them, and you can do this by calling them. A call can be a part of your drip campaign, right? You could get a notification to call them right away, and then they could go into a series of drips that are automated texts and emails. A lot of people don't, if they don't have like an inside sales agent or sales team, they don't have the capacity to call leads right away. So that's when you use more automated systems like just emails and text. So essentially you send out email 1 right away, or maybe you call them right away, but usually you'll get an email right away as well. Then you wait 5 minutes. In some cases, it's wait 3 minutes. You don't want it to go out immediately, the text, because then they know it's not a real person. The idea behind the drip campaign is that you kind of want to make it seem like it's actually you or someone from your client care department live, responding to them right away, because it gives you credibility, right? What happens when a support team of some software, some website, or some service you're using reaches out to you after 5 minutes of signing up or 5 minutes of submitting an inquiry to them, right? Anyone ever use Zendesk out there? Anyone got a support ticket from Zendesk? They always send you an email right back to say, hey, we got your inquiry, we're working on it. Just gives you confirmation that like you've been heard and someone's dealing with your inquiry, right? So anyway, oftentimes what we have is it's like wait 3, 4, 5 minutes, send out text number 1. Then wait 1 minute, send out text number 2. Then wait another 1 minute and send out text number 3, right? Or maybe it's wait 5 minutes and send out text number 3. And what you're trying to do with this is you're trying to elicit a response. You're trying to get them to engage back with you. In the real estate context, you're trying to get them to give you more information about their search. What are they looking for? So that you can essentially set them up on a saved search, right? So then they go into text 3. Then you might wait 1 hour, and then you might actually call them again. Or maybe this is your first call. There's a variety of ways you can set up a drip or a workflow. And I used to work for an agency, and we would spend countless hours doing this as a team. Like, how many emails do they get per week? How many calls do they get per week? How many texts do they get per week? And you'd essentially design this. But you kind of want to design it in a way that you're adding value to people. You want to lead with adding value. You don't want to have commission breath. You don't want to have sales breath. You really want to lead with delivering content. And some of these drip campaigns could be links to videos or a series of videos. They could just be value add emails, teaching people, which is a really good way to go these days. But anyway, so say you wait 1 hour, then they get a call. Then maybe you wait here like 1 day and they get email 2, right? So it's like email 1, text 2, text 3, call 1, email 2, something like that. And this will go on for years potentially. In the real estate context, you kind of want to have your prospects on a drip campaign for 2 years, because what happens is, especially when we're collecting leads on, say, Google, when people are early on in their search and they're searching homes for sale in, Seattle, and you put your ad up there, oftentimes they're really early on in their search and they might not actually transact for another 9 months. In some cases, 1.5 years, in some cases, 2 or 3 months. But you want to have these built out so that essentially, you don't have to keep following up with your prospects manually, because especially with online leads, they compound over time, right? So if you're generating like 100 leads a month, which is very typical for what I do for my clients, that's 1,200 leads at the end of the year, and that's 2,400 leads at the end of the next year. There's no way you can manage those people in a meaningful way without a sales team, right? So that's where you have these drip campaigns in place, is to automatically keep adding value and following up on your prospects for you, so that you don't have to have your hand in it doing it manually all the time, right? So that's essentially the idea behind a drip campaign, is to automate your touch points to stay front of mind, to add value, to build trust, to build authority, to build a reputation, essentially to get people to actually reach back out to you, respond to you, engage with your content more. There's a number of reasons that you'd want to have a drip campaign like this in place for your sales process. So that's a drip campaign. Now I want to talk about how an actual funnel works, because I get a lot of questions around this as well. So I've mapped out a little chart here about what a funnel is. So a sales funnel is essentially, you might have heard the term top of funnel. Top of funnel leads just mean new cold leads that have come in from your marketing efforts, okay? And essentially what you want to do when you get a new lead, they're cold. They might have just interacted with your ad, they might have seen one piece of your content, and they might have signed up for like a free PDF, a free resource. They might have signed up for your webinar, they might have signed up for a newsletter, they might have signed up for something, right? But generally, top of funnel up here, these are cold leads at the top of the funnel, okay? So essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to move people down the funnel, right? So you want to move leads from cold to warm to hot to appointment or sales call, and then to a client, right? Now, how would you do this? Well, it first starts with marketing, okay? So any marketing effort, it could be anything. It could be, sending out postcards. It could be Facebook ads. It could be Google ads. Could be YouTube. And these are just examples of things we do. Could be Instagram posts or Instagram ads. Could be a blog you write. So all of your marketing, right? Essentially what you're doing is you're funneling people from your marketing efforts into your funnel, okay? So whatever your marketing efforts are, there's a variety of things you can be doing. You're essentially putting them into your funnel. Now, generally what you do is you have one funnel for one specific thing. So for example, we sell an online course. So we have ads and content that direct people into our online course funnel, okay? I also have a agency. So I have a separate funnel for the content and stuff that I make to feed my marketing agency, right? So essentially you'll have one batch of marketing efforts that will feed one specific funnel, and they will all go into the top of funnel right away, right? So these are cold leads that come in at the top of your funnel, okay? So you haven't really warmed them up yet. So how do you get leads to go from cold to warm to hot to appointment? Well, that's where drip campaigns come in place, right? Essentially what you're trying to do is use drip campaigns to funnel leads down from cold to warm to hot. So these could be calls to qualify them, to find out a little bit more about what they're looking for. In a real estate context, have you been pre-approved for a mortgage? Like, how far along are you in your search? Like, are you working with an agent or not? So you're essentially trying to qualify them. With text, you're trying to get a little bit more information from them. Same with emails. You might be sending them video as well. And this is a great way to move people down the sales funnel from cold to warm to hot to appointment, is by sending them little videos, sending them YouTube videos, sending them content to try to warm them up and get familiar with you and your brand or whatever it may be. Because at the end of the day, when they first come in your funnel, they usually seen one or two pieces of content and they don't know, like, and trust you yet enough to work with you. So this is all about getting people to know, like, and trust you more so that they're actually willing to pay you for your product or service at the end of the day. So essentially what you want to do is you want to build a marketing campaign and you want to build a drip campaign, okay? And you want to use those in conjunction with your individual sales funnel. So you might have all of your marketing here going to a landing page, right? So there might be an intermediate step in here, which we'll just say LP. So right here would be a landing page. So all these marketing efforts are pointing to a landing page. And then on that landing page, you capture their information and then they go into your funnel, okay? Now, in order to move them through the funnel here, you essentially want to have these drip campaigns. So how this typically looks, now it depends on what type of business you're in, but essentially what this kind of looks like is at the top of the funnel here, you might generate 1,000 leads, okay? So say we generate 1,000 leads and we generate those for $5 a lead. So we spend $5,000, okay? So to fill the top of the funnel, we've spent $5,000, let's say. Now this is very typical. Maybe it's $10 a lead and it costs $10,000, whatever. In order to get those from cold to warm, a lot of people are gonna drop off, right? You're gonna get bad information. You're gonna get people who are never gonna reply to you. So you might take those 1,000 leads and you might get, let's say 500 down to the warm stage. So these are people who are like, maybe they've replied to you in an email or a text, or maybe they've watched a video, the full length. Then we can consider them, they've moved down to the warm stage, right? Now, in order to get them to the hot stage, another bunch of people are going to drop off. So you might only get like 100 people down to the hot stage, which is, hey, they've actually asked you a question. They've actually really engaged with you on some meaningful level. They've answered a phone call. You've actually had a conversation with them. And then of all the people you have a conversation with at the hot stage, you might book them into an appointment or a sales call or something like that. So at this point, you might get, let's say, 50 people into an appointment out of those 100. Now, of the 50 appointments, you might close half of them if you're good, and then you'll get 25 sales, okay? Now, if 25 sales were, like a course that's sold for $1,000, you would make $25,000, and then your return on ad spend would be a 5x. You took $5,000 and you turned it into $25,000, right? So that's very just simple math, and that tends to be how this kind of stuff works. In a real estate context, and I always like to go to this because I mostly work in real estate, the numbers actually work really, really well, because I can generate for my clients generally $5 leads in pretty much most markets. And at a certain point, this gets really, really fruitful. Once you get, a few months into doing it, you start actually really closing deals if you have your conversion process dialed in. Because in a real estate context, if you generate 1,000 leads for $5,000 and you can get 25 deals out of that, so that's a 2.5% conversion rate at the end of the day, which is a good result. Even if you do a 1% conversion rate, so let's say we did a 1% conversion rate on 1,000 leads at $5 a lead, then that means we did 10 deals, right? Now in real estate context, 10 deals is often worth $100,000. So you do 10,000 GCI, gross commission income, from each deal, which is a very typical result. Some markets it's way more. In some markets it's like 20,000, 25,000. But if you actually close 1% of your real estate leads that we generate through Google, you can take a $5,000 ad spend, and you don't have to spend $5,000 a month. You might be spending $500 or $1,000 a month. But the point is the same. If you do a 1% conversion rate, which is very typical, by using good drip campaigns, a good structure of calls, texts, emails, sending them video, adding value to them, you can literally take $5,000 in ad spend and turn it into $100,000. Because in real estate, the numbers are amazing. And in most industries, if you get in the example I showed you here is more typical of a lot of industries, you might get a 5x return on your marketing investment if you do it well. But even a 2 or a 3x is extremely good in most industries. In real estate, you can legitimately work with numbers that are like 25 or 30x if you do all of this well. And it doesn't have to be complicated. And I'm going to show you how to actually create a drip campaign in a minute here. But this does not have to be complicated, okay? You can literally just run Google Ads, which is a lot of what my clients do. And I work with clients and teams who do over 100 deals a year from this exact strategy. You could just spend all your money on Google Ads. You could funnel your Google Ads, and that's all you could do, into a well-structured funnel with well-structured drip campaigns. If you have a team of like inside sales agents or people who are willing to call these leads and that's their full-time job, you can get 2 to 3% conversion rates on Google Ads. You can, if you do this well. And then you're getting like in this case, for example, you're working with like a 20x return. And if you get, this is just your initial return is this $100,000 on this $5,000 spend. But if you get some referral business out of that, out of these 10 deals, let's say you get between your repeat business and your referral business, you get another 5 deals. That's another 50,000, right? 50,000. So now you've made 150,000 on a $5,000 ad spend, and all of a sudden you're doing a 30x return, and it can get even better than that. So the numbers really, really work. So I'm gonna actually show you in my CRM here how to actually create a drip campaign from start to finish, so that you know how this actually kind of looks in real time. And I'm going to show you some best practices along the way. So I use Real Geeks. If you're a real estate agent, I work with tons of clients who use Real Geeks. I've done a ton of testing around this. If you need a website platform, there will be a link in the description on a video where I go over different website platforms that are available to you as a realtor. I'm also going to link to Real Geeks down below. If you want a good deal on them, use my link, and they'll take care of you for sure. But I recommend them to most of my clients because they're really good at capturing leads. There's some clients I run ads for where we get $5 a lead with Real Geeks and we get $10 a lead with other clients, with other platforms, So the difference can actually be astronomical if you really scale this up. Real Geeks is a great platform for capturing leads. It's just really good at capturing leads and giving people exactly what they want. But that's a bit of an aside. So essentially what I'm going to do here in Real Geeks is I'm going to go over to my workflow drip area. And this is essentially where I would build out a workflow. Now, a lot of CRMs are going to have built-in workflows that you can just add and edit. And this is one of the easiest things you can do. So in Real Geeks, I can click on the top and click add a workflow. And I can actually go to the library of workflows, right? And I can actually see all these workflows and drip campaigns that they've already have in here that you can just take over and you can use, right? So a lot of these are going to be like, you can see here, email and SMS. So like this one is just a 18 email sequence, right? This one's a 4 email sequence. This one is a 3 email and 2 SMS sequence. So you can pick these and you can modify them, but I'm just going to show you how to do this from scratch. So if I just do a new workflow, so we'll just say, let's say test drip campaign, okay? Now, essentially what I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose when this drip campaign is triggered, right? When it will stop, and then I'm going to set up all the steps involved in the drip campaign, okay? So I'm going to choose first my lead source. Now, for us, we're running ads to our property search or our agent landing pages, okay? So I'm actually just going to choose these 2 lead sources. So if anyone comes in through our property search as a lead, or they come in through one of our agent landing pages, that's when this drip campaign will trigger, meaning it will go to, it'll go out to leads that come through one of those 2 places on our website. For our signed agent, I'm just going to put any agent, right? So any agent that this gets assigned to, this lead, I want this drip campaign to go out to them. If you only want to make this drip campaign for yourself, for example, with RealGeeks, you can actually assign a drip campaign to only you and your leads, so that you can make sure you're customizing them for yourself. Another thing that I would do is click on automatically stop workflow on communication up here. Not all CRMs are going to give you this option, but generally how this works is if you have a series of 3 texts and they respond after the second text, you don't want the 3rd text going out to them, because you're going to want to get in there and customize the text based on what they had replied to you, right? So you actually generally want it to always automatically stop the workflow upon communication, is a really good best practice. So anyways, what I'm going to tell you guys is, this is really important. With real estate, if you're a real estate agent, generally what you want to do with drip campaigns is you want to have 2 of these. Okay, so you want to have your first drip campaign and your second drip campaign automatically set up, okay? Now your first one is automatic, okay? The first drip campaign you want to have is to get a little bit more information out of them, to get them on a saved search on your website. Now this is really, really important, because a saved search is generally when they sign up on our RealGeeks website. So let me just show you in real time here. My website's ybearhomesearch.com. So if someone comes in here and they go click on a property, right? It's going to force them for their information for them to actually sign up, right? Now, when this happens, they're going to go automatically into a drip campaign. Now, the goal of this drip campaign should be to get them on a saved search, because when they do this, RealGeeks is automatically going to enroll them on a saved search already. So it's actually going to start sending them every day new properties that match their search criteria. Now, a lot of times when they first started searching on here, the lead or the prospect didn't really customize their search much. They might just be searching all properties in Seattle. Now, that's not a really good saved search for them, because they're just going to get updated with every property that hits the market in Seattle. But you want to actually get in there and customize that saved search for them. Because what are people doing when they're on your website in real estate? They're looking for homes, and that's all they want, right? They don't really want to be pestered by a realtor necessarily. They just want homes. They just want to look for homes. That's what they're doing. They are just browsing, and you're going to get this a lot with online lead generation. I'm just browsing, and this really is what determines a good agent from a not so good agent in terms of online lead generation, is how do you get past I'm just browsing? Well, there's lots of good tools and scripts you can use to get around that. But anyway, that's an aside. So what you want to do with this first drip campaign is you want to get them on a saved search, and not just a saved search, but a customized saved search. So you want to find a little bit more information from them, so that, you know, what's your price range? How many bedrooms and how many bathrooms are you looking for? What area are you specifically looking for? What else is important to you? So you essentially want to find out a little bit more information about what it is they're looking for, so you can customize their saved search so they're getting relevant properties, not just all properties, okay? So that's your first drip campaign. Once you have success with that, so you make contact with them, you successfully customize their saved search for them, then you enroll them in drip campaign number 2, okay? And you have to do this manually. You go into the lead and you enroll them into that drip campaign. Now this number 2 should be a 2-year long drip campaign. And this should be something along the lines of like 2 emails a month, 1 call every 3 months, maybe 1 text a month as well. So this should be a 2-year drip campaign of a series of different things: texts, emails, calls, sending them videos, that just adds value, builds trust, builds authority, builds rapport, and in the eyes of the consumer, makes it seem like you're someone that they would want to work with, okay? So this is essentially the loose structure you should work with. So I'm going to show you how to set up this first one here, just to give you an example. So this is automatically going to be applied to people who come through our landing page or our property search. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go add step, okay? Now it's going to say, how long do you want to wait? Well, my first email, I don't want to wait at all. So I'm going to put 0 hours or 0 minutes. So send out immediately, basically. Now your software, it's going to look different on every software, but this is basically what this is going to say. Now, I'm actually going to add my first email here. I've already created this drip campaign, so I already have a set of emails. But what you're going to want to do is you're actually going to want to create these emails. Now, what I would recommend though is just set up the structure of your drip campaign first and then go in and actually create the content. So what I would typically recommend is you can just do it this way. If you have an ISA team or if you have a sales team, you send them a welcome email right away. Hey, thanks for signing up on yvrhomesearch.com. Just so you know, there's some important features you want to know about. I have a team of a few people here that are full-time connected to our website. But the first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself on a proper saved search so that properties actually come to you. You won't have to go back on the website all the time and look at properties. If you set up your saved search criteria, we'll actually have automatic listings sent to you every day that fit your specific criteria. So can I ask you, tell me a bit more about, how many bedrooms you're looking for, what areas you're looking for, and your email can say that, right? Then oftentimes what we'll do is with the second email, if you don't have a sales team to actually call them right away, because the best thing you can do is to try to call them right away, okay? Now, some people aren't comfortable with that. Some people aren't available to call people right away. So oftentimes what you want to do then is you actually can have a text go out. So what I would do here is put follow-up, call, right? And so this is if you had an actual call. So you could put in right away, so 0 hours or 0 minutes, whatever, create a task to call them. So that's what this will do. And this will assign to whoever you want to assign it to, but essentially the title of this will be like, you could call it Bulldog Call. Means call them twice, because 80% of people answer right away when you call them twice, but it's about 30% on the first dial these days, sometimes even lower. So if you have a team, right? Now, what you can do is you can add a task. So this would be a follow-up task. So in your CRM, it'll present you with a task. Do today, call this lead. Now, a lot of you can't necessarily call people right away. So some of you might want to actually text them. So in this case, you could put, and then wait 5 minutes and send an SMS. Now, in this case, I've already actually created my text campaigns as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a couple more text in here. So I'm going to go add step, and I'm going to put wait 5 minutes. So wait 5 minutes, and then wait 1 minute, and then wait 1 minute. So it's a sequence, right? First wait 5 minutes, then wait a minute, then wait a minute. You can also have it wait 0 minutes, so they go consecutively after one another. So you can do that as well. So then I'm going to go SMS, and then I'm going to choose my text 2 and my text 3. And obviously you can go in here and you can actually edit the text. But basically what this is doing is my first text will say something along the line of this. It'll say, thanks for signing up on yvrhomesearch.com just a few minutes ago. My name is agent first name. So it'll actually pull in the first name field of the agent who the lead is assigned to, okay? So it's important to actually have these fields in there. They're actually going to be different depending on your software, but they're going to look something like that. And they usually have an option to put it in here, okay? So you can, if you add something here like merged field, you can put in agent last name, agent first name, and it'll actually pull in that information from the lead field in your CRM. So I'm not going to touch this, but I just want to give you some context here. Thanks for signing up on yvrhomesearch.com. My name is Eric. I'm one of the licensed managers here, full-time connected to the website as a resource for you. In the second campaign, it'll say something. I want to quickly make sure you're set up for success, so on and so forth. Can you tell me a little bit more about what type of properties you're looking for? That kind of thing. So I'm not going to get into all of the details and the nitty-gritty of the content in this video, but just give you a loose structure to work with. So we send out 3 texts. Then we're going to have another email that goes out. And this might go out maybe 1 day later, or maybe a few hours later, right? So we could say 1 day later, we have an email go out, and this email will be our email number 2, which I've already created. You could also add in here another step. You can just move these steps around freely, right? So I might add one step in here where after these texts, I might wait 4 hours, and then I might have a follow-up call, right? So now I've actually put in a task in there to actually call this lead, right? So at first they get a welcome email, then they get 3 texts. A lot of people aren't going to reply. So then I have a note in my CRM 4 hours later to say, hey, Eric, call this lead. They signed up a few hours ago. They got your text. They didn't reply. So then I want to actually call them, right? Maybe they won't answer. Maybe I'll leave a voicemail. So then I'm going to actually wait 1 more day, and then I'm actually going to send our second email, right? Then I'm going to wait 1 more day, and I'm going to send our third email, right? Then I'm going to wait 1 more day, and I'm going to send our 4th text. right? And then I'm gonna wait 0 minutes, and I'm gonna send our 5th text, right? So the next day, the text might look, hey, I just wanted to check in, making sure you're happy with and receiving like the property alerts that our website's been sending you. I just want to make sure you're happy with these. Is there anything I can get in and customize for you? Okay, so you see, you're starting to see how this works, right? This first campaign of events, this series of events, is designed to get more information out of the lead so that they can essentially provide you with a little bit more information to work with as an agent to actually serve them better and send them more valuable information, to send them more valuable properties, right? So that's what this is all about, is using a drip campaign like I listed here of calls, texts, emails, and in these emails, a good thing to do is actually send them videos. So let me give you an example, some context here. What we had done one time was we actually had a Google ad targeting people searching for foreclosures. Now, people searching for foreclosures on Google, essentially if you went foreclosures for sale in whatever city, we would have a ad pop up. So really what's going on here is these people are searching for foreclosed homes. So people who've not been able to afford their mortgage payment and the home's been foreclosed. So what are these type of people actually looking for? They're looking for a deal, right? But the reality is most people don't know the risks involved or the process behind buying a foreclosure, right? So what we would do when I was working with a team on this is we actually had their team leader create a video that described the difference between buying a foreclosed home and a regular property, right? And we would send that video out in an email and a text. Say, hey, I noticed you were looking for foreclosures. Here's a quick video on 3 things you need to know about buying a foreclosure as opposed to buying a regular home. And what you do in that video is you basically lay out the risks involved, but you also want to establish value of yourself. You want to establish authority. You want to establish some kind of rapport with the person, because that's actually going to increase the likelihood that next time you call them or text them, they're actually going to reply, because you've moved them from cold to warm in the funnel, right? You've taken them from cold to warm just by sending them a video and having them watch it, because it's actually relevant to whatever it is they're looking for. So again, this is a loose structure for you to work with that applies to nearly every single sales team or sales organization out there. I used to work for a 20-person sales team where I was closing deals, and I would have a whole team of people using drip campaigns that would tee up appointments for me to close people into a sale. And even after I had appointments with people, I would have drip campaigns to try to get them into a sale. So they're relevant for any sales organization, anything like that. So if you have any questions about this, leave them down in the comments and I'm happy to engage with you. Throw a hashtag drips down there if you're interested and you like this video. If you want to send me a text, you can do it at this number. It's a great way that I can engage with my YouTube followers and people that are watching my content. So send me a text. I'm not going to spam you over text, but basically it's not my personal line, just full disclosure. It's a line I use to connect with you guys, and I might send you an odd text here and there on marketing tips, or when I drop a really important video, I'll let you know there as well. So, all right, everyone, that wraps up today's video. If you want to get in touch with me, a great place to do it is you can actually text this number that you've seen this whole video on my shirt. You might have already done that already, but that's a place where I can connect with my followers and people who watch my videos. I might send you little marketing tips here or there. I might send you a little notification when I drop a cool new video that you might want to check out, but I'll never spam you with text. So as always, smash that subscribe button if you like my content. It really supports my channel. Hit that like button if you like this video. Hit the dislike button if you didn't. Either way, it helps tell me what videos you guys are enjoying so I can create better content for you at the end of the day. Now, if you're a real estate agent and you want to talk about working with me and my team on your Google Ads strategy and getting you an abundance of leads every single month, so that you can actually start working on drip campaigns that will fuel the conversion process behind those leads that my team can help generate for you, leave a comment below or reach out to me on Facebook. Either one works, and we can set up a time where me and you can actually have a little 30-45 minute chat about actually having us manage your Google ad campaigns for you and filling your pipeline. So I'm gonna leave you with 2 videos up here that you might enjoy that are relevant to drip campaigns, more related to marketing. So check these out. Especially this one on Google Ads. It's one you're going to want to watch for sure. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.